Welcome, everybody. Thank you for coming here today to the People's Church of Divine Prophecy. Looks like those that are here survived the time change and the bike weeks. Thank you all for making that transition and showing up here today. I'd like to ask you to silence your cell phones unless you're law enforcement or medical personnel. The restrooms are down the hall, quick right, quick left. Use, avail yourselves of those at any time during the service. There's coffee and tea in the back. And I'd like to ask Vaughn to light the 3 candles symbolizing unity of body, mind, and spirit to start the service. We always joke about which candle's slowest to light. It's body, mind, and spirit from left to right. Looks like the spirit's getting a little slow start today. Must have something to do with bike week. Body's right there, though. Please stand for the invitation and remain standing for the first hymn. Dear Father God, we give thanks for this time here today. We give thanks for those that have returned, those that are here for the first time physically. May we see all in spirit, greet all as in spirit, and show the unity of God in spirit. Amen. The next portion is a reading by the pastor where I speak about something past week and try to put it into a spiritual perspective that I've been trying to practice and bring into my life. Well, as we all know, it's bike week, and I do ride a Harley, so it's kind of funny at work. The guys were saying, "Oh, you're going to go over to bike week and you're going to drink and raise hell," and I said, "Well, I'm going to go be a little bit of a hedonist, but as most of you know, I don't drink and I don't smoke. I'm pretty much a teetotaler." So they were saying, "No drinking, no drugs, no pretty women. What are you going to do?" I said, "I'm going to go enjoy life," you know. And we were at lunch the other day, and my son's getting ready to go into detox, and my family's got a history of drug usage, my brothers and me and my sisters, and had one of them die from a drug overdose, so we got quite a history with drugs throughout the family. And one of my sisters was saying, "I think the greatest drug is this or that, Valium and all this and that." And I said, "You know what the greatest drug is?" I said, "It's life." I said, "People take drugs so they feel happy and joyous. That's why people start taking drugs. People drink so they can relax and feel happy." I said, "Life does that to you. A firm connection to God does that to you." And when I say that, a lot of people have these misconceptions that, like I used to have, because I was raised a Roman Catholic. To me, God used to be, today, God is, yeah, that's God today. So when I speak about a firm connection to God, it is a further expression of life. It is a wondrous expression of life. And a connection to God lets me see that in its fullest. So when I say that I'm going to go enjoy bike week, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to enjoy every moment. I smile when I'm riding down the highway. Somebody from work told me that the other day. They said, "I passed you on the road the other day. You were smiling while you were riding your bike." I said, "Yeah, it makes me smile." He says, "Well, most people look really mean or tough." I said, "Well, I kind of get a smile on my face when I ride. So enjoy it. Make a happy time with it." And I guess that's what we need to do, is we need to try to smile through most of our life. And it's kind of, as another segue into my son going into rehab, he got evicted from the house he was in, so I brought him over to my house for 2 or 3 days while he's already done the intake. He's just waiting for a bed to open up, and he's definitely going in. My wife was a little dubious that she's not his mom. And she didn't want all that in the house and this and that. And the first day he was there, the next day he went over to his mom's in Crystal River. And we got up, we were out when he left, and we come in and there's this beautiful little note there that said, I just want you to know that I really appreciate this time in your home. I'll respect your home. There will be no drugs, no other visitors. And I didn't say any of this to him. I never told him that. And I respect your home and try to be as discreet as possible and as invisible as possible while I'm here. Thank you for your love and care. And my wife just melted when she read that. So, you know, things do come around. You have to be positive about it. Let God work in people's lives. Even when you think you know better than God to how to work in somebody's life, you have to step back and let God work with that person. Thank you for listening to me. The next portion is the healing portion. And I would ask Judy and Kathy to go stand up behind the chairs. Marty. Looking at Marty. It's the second time I did that. I looked at Vaughn and said John this morning. So my mind is not keeping up with my mouth today. So the way this works is Ashkhen's going to lead us in a guided meditation. If you'd like to get a contact healing during that, you can sit in one of the chairs. During the meditation, you'll hear this. That means that one of the chairs has become vacant, and you can go over there and get a healing and still enjoy the meditation. Marty, Matthew will play accompaniment. So there you go again. My mouth is about 5 minutes behind my mind. Hope that don't continue while I'm riding a bike, because you kind of got to have We'll give you a head start. If you like a healing, you can take a seat over here. There's 2 open chairs to start.
Good morning. Find a comfortable position to sit, where there is no tension on your physical body. Feet straight on the ground, palms up in your laps. Just sit relaxed. Close your eyes. Take in a few deep breaths. Breathe in and breathe out. With each breath, just relax your body. Let go of all the thoughts that are occupying your mind. Bring your focus and your awareness to your breath. As you breathe in and out, feel yourself becoming one with your breath. Feel this breath taking you deeper within. And connecting you to this peaceful presence that is within. That feels very quiet, calm, and soothing. Connect with this peaceful presence. And become one. This is the presence of God within. that is quiet and still. As you connect with this stillness, you hear the voice of God speaking within, quietly. As this voice connects you to the mind of God, God the omnipotent, omnipresent, omniscient. It is the voice of I am that is within. As you listen, you hear the voice of God speaking to you, always, with encouraging and positive affirmations. I am the I am that is within each one of us, is the presence of God. Connect to this presence. This is the higher state of your consciousness that is within, that leads you, that guides you, that enables you, that strengthens you, that encourages you. As you listen, you hear the decree of the I am presence, the voice of God that is within. I am infinite. I am pure and perfect. I am. I am. As you breathe in and out, the voice becomes clear and clear. I am manifestation of Christ consciousness, the universal consciousness that empowers. I am the Great Spirit that governs the universe. I am the Great Spirit, the creation of all. I am. I am. I am infinite. I am pure and perfect. I am the beginning, and I am the ending. I am Alpha. I am Omega. I am content with who I am. For I am all that I am. Feel the voice of God empowering you, energizing you, and aligning you with the universal intelligence, with the universal mind, with the universal love. God is a universal God, and we are all one in the presence of God. Feel that oneness in your consciousness. Feel the universal love that holding each one of us together. In essence, we are love, and that love is God. It is the presence of God within our sacred heart. Feel God's love in your heart. And see that love in a form of energy connecting each one of us together as one consciousness. Feel that love extending out to the universe. Feel this love embracing Mother Earth, all the animals, the plants, and the minerals. Feel that connection, that you've become one within and with everything. Feel God's love embracing you, comforting you, and healing you. As you feel your breath bringing you back to your physical body. And feel God's love flourishing within and without. Surrender to the presence of God within. God in the highest most that governs our bodies, mental, emotional, physical, and spiritual. See them all aligned with your higher self. your higher consciousness to the presence of God, the I Am presence. Ask your I Am to be in charge always. I am. I am. I am all that I am. I am pure. I am perfect. Let these vibrations integrate into your physical body as you start coming back, becoming aware of your physical senses. While you breathe, feel your I Am breathing. Slowly come back, and when you're ready, you can open your eyes and be here.
Next portion is the inspirational lecture, and today we have Reverend Carol and Reverend Bill Morse here today. They are both ordained ministers in hands-on healing. They have studied processes and theology from spiritualism, natural law, quantum physics, and prophetic and mystical Christianity. They travel around the world practicing these arts and crafts, and their passion is to share knowledge and experience of healing with others. I've known Reverend Carol and Bill for quite some time, never had the pleasure of hearing them speak, so it's going to be, I'm sure they'll do quite a nice job. They're very nice people, and I'm sure that will come through in their lectures. So please welcome Reverend Carol and Bill.
Well, that was all about angels, and that is what today is all about.
Can we hear you?
Can you hear me? No. Okay, I'm going to try to speak louder. Today's lecture is about love, okay? And they wear so many faces. They show up in the strangest places to grace us with their mercy in our time of need. I believe that there are angels among us, sent down to us from somewhere up above. They come to you and me in our darkest hours to show us how to live, to teach us how to give, and to guide us with the light of love. And now Bill comes up.
Good morning.
Good morning.
You got a microphone on now. I'll put two up, okay. Well, you probably guessed we're going to talk about angels this morning. I'm going to share with you two instances where we have experienced the presence of angels in our lives. One may seem of very little consequence to you, but in its simplicity, there's a tremendous learning opportunity. The other was quite profound. But both of them, I think, show that there really are angels among us. About a year and a half ago, Carol and I decided that we were going to do an experiment. We were going to try the RV life. So we went out and we purchased a travel trailer. We did it as an experiment. We wanted to see if we liked it or not. A lot of people love that type of lifestyle, and we do a lot of traveling. So we picked up a travel trailer for a pretty good price. It was slightly used. And we took it on a couple of experimental trips. We went down to Orlando. We went up to St. Augustine. The first substantial trip we took, we went out to visit some friends in Mississippi, about a 1,500-mile trip. And on this trip, we came to the realization that, now this is a 26-foot travel trailer, 35 if you include the hitch and the bumper, plus we've got a tow vehicle, which is a big Toyota Sequoia. So this thing is a substantially long piece of equipment. We realized as we're on our travels out to Mississippi that every time we got on the highway, we never had a problem finding a space to merge into the highway. This was rather unusual, because when you're in a downtown situation, sometimes that can be pretty sketchy. The longest trip we took was a 5,000-mile trip up to Montreal to visit our friend Bob Johnstone. We went all the way up the St. Lawrence Seaway and came around into New Brunswick and back down again. 5,000 miles, exactly the same thing. I don't care whether we were in downtown New York City or out in the middle of no place. We never had a problem every time we started to merge on the highway. Well, very early on this process, we realized that we had a friend. We called it our merge angel. Now, how many people have parking angels here? Yeah, a lot of people have parking angels. Simple thing, you expect that you're going to have a good parking place, and you say, "Thank you, parking angel." Well, we had a merge angel, and may seem rather inconsequential, but you get up there to highway speed, you got about 5 seconds to merge over, and if you don't have room to merge with something that long, you can really get into an interesting situation. So what do we learn from that situation? Well, we learned that there's a 3-step process in this presence of this merge angel. The first is to expect the result. We had no reservation, no moment of hesitation in our mind that every time we got up to that highway, there was going to be a space for us to merge into. We had the expectation of a result. We also acknowledged that, just as I'm doing here today. We talk with people about it. We'd acknowledge the fact that we had an angel watching over us. And the third is we were thankful. Every time, and it still happens today, even though we sold the travel trailer. We did the test and we decided we didn't like it and we sold it. But to this very day, every time we get on the highway, we have still always have an open spot there to come onto. And every time that happens, she'll hear me say, "Thank you, merge angel." So I think the most instructive of those three is the expectation of the result. And we get into body, mind, and spirit here, and the mind is our greatest challenge. The mind is the computer. It gathers information, it makes judgments. It decides things. Is this good or bad, hot or cold, up or down, right or wrong? Merging onto the highway has very little downside. So the ego mind really doesn't have the opportunity to get in there and convince you of an alternative result. The same thing with parking. You have your parking angel. You expect that result. You get up to the front of the store and there's a parking place there. What's the downside of that? If there isn't a parking place there, you get to walk a little bit longer. You get to park a little bit further away from the store. We see this concept at work all the time. We do a lot of healing and we teach a lot of healing classes. And this is something that we see constantly with healing, is the judgment mind. It seems that quite frequently if somebody's receiving a healing and they have a headache or a backache, although that's very uncomfortable, there isn't a significant downside to that. So our ego mind doesn't get in the way and say, oh, this is something really serious. Where if someone is doing a healing or someone is receiving a healing, and there's a person who has a condition which is much more serious, especially the healer, if the healer has not done the proper steps to step aside and detach from the situation and detach from the outcome, a much more serious condition a lot of times does not receive the healing that it should, because our ego mind gets in the way and says, well, this is a serious condition, and therefore my judgment says that, there's a much bigger downside to this. We also see this with people that do healing on family members and loved ones, because now they're invested in the outcome. And if you don't completely detach from the outcome of a situation, you're not going to get the expected result. So the downside or the consequences can affect the outcome of a situation. But expect the results. When you have a situation where you want to have a particular outcome, expect that result and know that it's going to happen, and appreciate it, be thankful for it, and acknowledge the fact that there are forces at work that are going to make that happen. The other situation occurred. I guess we'd known each other for probably a year or two, and we went for a walk in Port Orange. There's a city center there. There's a lake, very nice sidewalk around it. It was at night, after dark. A few people out walking, but we were walking, and there's an area there with a railing where you can look out over the lake. And there was a man standing there, and we stopped and we talked to him. That's not something that we do frequently, but we were guided. We received an inner guidance that we needed to stop and talk to this guy, and we talked with him for probably 15 or 20 minutes, and he really opened his heart to us. He had come back from a very difficult overseas deployment in the military a couple of months before this. Got home, wife told him that she was gonna give him a divorce, and he was really in rough straits. He needed somebody to talk to. We didn't really realize it at the time, but in looking back on that situation, I'm fairly certain that he was at a crossroads in his life, and I get the feeling that he was considering some drastic measures, and maybe our stopping and talking with him helped him through that. But it was just a chance meeting, if you will, and I think that it was guided by angels that we were to stop and talk to him. And the words of the song: a kind word from a stranger, to lend a helping hand, a phone call from a friend just to say you understand. Sometimes we get the urge to call somebody that we haven't talked to in a while. Pick up on that. Pick up on the phone. Give them a call. That's happening for a reason. And we need to listen to that inner guidance. So we have instances where angels or spirit work with us every day, and we have opportunities to step in and help others through the guidance of angels and spirit, and we need to listen to that guidance as well. But it's your life, it's your free will, and you can choose. You can choose to accept the help, you can choose to listen to the guidance or not. It's entirely up to you. But I would encourage you to listen and to accept and to appreciate, because I do believe there are angels among us. Thank you.